Hi, it's Davin Hutchins, Managing Editor of VOA Middle East, coming to you from Washington, D.C. I'm on the line through Skype video with Baris Ornarli. He's an international broadcaster and anchor with VOA's Turkish Service. Baris, thanks for joining us. So let's talk about the elections. The Justice and Development Party, which has had the last two terms in Parliament, won a third term on Sunday. That is about 50% of the vote, but short of the majorities that they were seeking in order to have a broader mandate. So exactly what kind of political mandate does the Justice and Development Party have?
Well, with 50% of the vote, it's obvious that they have a very strong mandate in terms of numbers. The Prime Minister himself said during his victory speech that he has the vote of one person out of every two people in Turkey. That's a very strong mandate. And historically speaking, he's increased his vote a third time in a row. This is his third election victory. And from a Turkish political historical standpoint, that's unprecedented. So he's got a very strong mandate going into the new term. What he does not have necessarily are the numbers in Parliament. We had spoken about this at length before. There are 550 seats in the Turkish Parliament. In order to change the constitution with the approval of the population in a referendum, you need 330 seats. The Justice and Development Party has 326 seats. They're just shy of the magic number of 330. That implies that in order to change the Constitution, in order for constitutional reform, they're going to have to seek a compromise. They're going to have to seek support from outside of the political party, from the political opposition. Nonetheless, even though they don't have the 330 majority that they were hoping to get, 50% of the vote is a very strong mandate politically.
Now, about 50 million Turks, or about two-thirds of the population, were eligible to vote. And I think NTV television said that turnout was something like 84 or 85%. Now, we have a lot of emerging democracies in the Middle Eastern region, for example, Egypt and Tunisia, looking forward to their own elections. This is an incredible amount of political participation. Is there anything these countries can learn from the democratic process in Turkey?
Regarding the voter participation, it's important to note that Turkey is compulsory voting. Everybody must go and vote on election day. But I think it's safe to assume that voting as a national responsibility has set in amongst the Turkish population. Turkey traditionally has a very high participation rate in elections. It's rarely below 75%, and the upper 80% figure of participation in these elections is not a surprise, well expected. Turkey generally does really well on election day in terms of participation. Turkish elections are held on Sunday. There's strict rules about election day, and the Sunday factor being a holiday encourages people to go out and vote as well. So voting is encouraged. It's considered to be a responsibility, and I think it's safe to say that most Turks consider it to be a duty, and they do go out and vote.
So tell us what happens now. We know who won. What's likely to happen? How's Erdogan going to rule? What's going to take place over the next few weeks?
Well, the first order of business, it seems, is the leaders are going to take a holiday. Prime Minister Erdogan is set to take a couple of days off following a long and arduous, very tense election period, a very tense campaigning period. But after the short break, the first order of business will be to establish the new cabinet. New cabinet will be formed. It will be submitted to the president. It will be submitted to a vote in parliament and will be approved. After the new cabinet's formed, which is set to comprise of mostly members that are well-experienced members of the Justice and Development Party, after that cabinet's formed, the first political business that needs to be tended to, according to Justice and Development Party officials, will be the new constitution. The Turkish constitution, as it stands right now, was written after the 1980 coup in 1982, so it's a constitution written by the military, approved by a referendum nonetheless. So a civilian constitution is in order. Prime Minister Erdogan has promised that he would pursue the drafting of a civilian constitution. So that will be the first order of business. And in this, the ruling party, the Justice and Development Party, says that they will form a committee within their party, start drafting the constitution. They will also go and seek opinion from the political opposition. They said that they will also go seek opinion from the opposition that did not make it into parliament in order for it to be an encompassing opinion. They said that they would seek opinion from civil society and from academics and from the media in order to write a compromise constitution, as it's called here. The second question that remains to be seen in the coming months is whether Prime Minister Erdogan will move Turkey towards a presidential system. It's well known that he has this sort of aspiration that Turkey should be a presidential system. That remains to be seen whether he's actually going to pursue this, because there's strict and very stringent opposition in parliament and across society against changing Turkey from a parliamentary system to a presidential system. So that remains to be seen. The Turkish press is also reporting that Prime Minister Erdogan, after his significant election victory, will take a tour of the country, reportedly to thank the voters for their support, and also a couple of international travel is down the line, as it's being reported, but not confirmed by the press. Those trips probably will involve a trip to Azerbaijan and possibly into the United States.
Great. We'll have to leave it there. Baris Ornarli, international broadcaster and anchor with VOA's Turkish Service, reporting to us from Ankara. Thanks for all of your work and your coverage over the past week.